Hola, feliz mes de la historia de mujer. So what motivated me to run for councilwoman is that I have been in Ward 14 since the age of 14. So I've driven up and down Ward 14 hundreds of times. And throughout the years, I started seeing it decline. I started seeing the blight that exists in our neighborhood. I started seeing the lack of resources that were available to our youth. And one day I was invited to go to Washington, and Marcia Fudge was there, Congresswoman Marcia Fudge. And I remember her saying at that time, if you want to make a difference in your neighborhood, you have to have a seat at the table. You have to run and be part of government. And so it's when I was inspired to run. So the woman that I mostly look up to is not in politics, it's in my mom. My mom was brought here from Puerto Rico at an early age. She didn't know the language. It was a huge culture shock for her to be here in the city of Cleveland. But despite the challenges, she overcame each and one of them. My mom is very resilient. She's strong. She has strong values, and she raised us with those values to love others, to serve others. And every day I learn something new from my mom. My mom is probably the strongest woman that I know. And when I grow up, I want to be just like her. So changes that I'm fighting for to make a more equitable city for women is that when I was first elected, what I realized is there was a lot of single moms out there that maybe wanted higher education, or they wanted to return back to the workforce, but they didn't have the tools and the opportunities for them to make this decision and take this step. So I co-developed the SEEDS program, which stands for Support, Educate, Empower, Develop, and Sustain. It's a 9-month curriculum teaching women how to develop personally, professionally, and socially. And so we've had 2 cohorts, and we've had possibly about 24 graduates who have returned back to the workforce, who are getting higher education. And I'm mostly proud of those that are being part of the community change that has taken place in Ward 14. Some of them have opened their gardens, and some of them have purchased their homes. So we still have this program in place. Also, free women hygiene. I mean, this is important. There was a lot of young ladies that approached me and said that, feminine hygiene products are increasing in price, and it was very difficult for their family to afford. And so we passed legislation through the city of Cleveland to have free hygiene products in all city public buildings. And then I am also the chair of Workforce and Education and Youth Development. And what we've been fighting for is improve education, right? Education is very important for our youth. In order for us to build that equity for families and children. Also workforce. I mean, we have kids that maybe they don't want to go to college, but they want some type of apprenticeship. They want to get back, into the workforce and start making money. So we are working very hard on improving quality of life around workforce and education and youth development through this committee. So advice that I have for our future leaders is about fear. Fear has robbed me a lot of opportunities. I grew up in a very impoverished neighborhood and didn't feel seen, had self-confidence issues, and when was presented with opportunities, I was paralyzed and I had a lot of fear. Well, I would just tell you that overcome fear. Do it anyways. Do it scared. Take advantage of the opportunity that are presented to you. Don't worry about what people say about you. You have a GPS internally inside of you that is guiding every step of your way. Follow that still voice